Hey world, um, we're going through a tough time right now in the world. We have been for these last 2 months, especially this last month. And the good news is, well, let's talk about astrologically why this is so. Mars has been retrograde since April 17th and will be until June 29th. And during that time, it went from being in a conjunction with Saturn in Sagittarius to going back into Scorpio. And during that time, we're at the tail end of a Sun in Gemini transit. We've experienced a Venus in Gemini transit this past month. And we're experiencing now and have for, I think it's like the last week and a half or so, Mercury in Gemini. And right now, Mercury is now opposite Saturn. The opposition of Saturn and Sagittarius and all of these Gemini energies, Sun, Venus, which we've already experienced, Mercury, which we're experiencing now, it's a very difficult time. And you add Mars in retrograde and Mars in Sagittarius for the first part of, I think it was until like mid-May, maybe the third week in May or so, that it was in Sagittarius. We're all going through intense transformative experiences right now. I myself am making a move that has been building up for really for quite some time, and is a very beneficial, positive thing. But as I fought it, and it was, well, I wouldn't say I fought it in a sense, but I just didn't understand how important it was I do this for myself, for my contributions to the world, both astrologically and musically, until just a couple days ago. And right now, the making of this video, we're experiencing the full moon. And we have yesterday, and the peak will be tomorrow, Monday the 29th, or excuse me, Monday the 20th. But this video covers the last couple months and also the next couple months, because we're going to be experiencing Mars in retrograde, as I said, until the 29th, but the shadow period will last for about a month or so. And it won't be until 2 months from now. Actually, a quick note on that shadow period, it should be about a month and a half or so. But long story short, things aren't going to be necessarily picking up right away. And we'll go into that. I just want to make a quick note. In 2 months, that's when that conjunction of Mars and Saturn will be affecting us. And this will be the second go-around. So it's going to be touching on what we've been developing since the first go-around, which was back in around April, basically when Mars went retrograde, April 17th. So here we were, mid-April. We had all these plans, all of these aspirations, all this inspiration, all this Sagittarian energy, all this enthusiasm. And we were committed. Mars and Saturn are working together for us to realize the beginnings and the planning of long-term goals. And then it went retrograde, and we saw ourselves seemingly going backwards. We experienced privation. We experienced the most challenging things that those two energies have to offer. Saturn, which is restriction. Sometimes, see, this is the thing with Saturn, something we need to keep in mind in general, but especially at the beginning of all this, so April 17th-ish, is when we experience restriction in life, that means that the energies just aren't flowing. None of us, no matter what our egos or mind or heart may think, feel, etc., none of us controls our life completely. We are co-creating with the universe, God, Allah, however you understand the cosmic whole. And we have to go with the flow. It's as simple as that. We just have to be ourselves, to trust, to have faith. And this goes in general, but especially during this time. Because that which is restricted, there's a reason for that. Maybe the way that we thought was the way, and that we've been telling ourselves for years, for that matter, because Saturn is a long-reaching energy, long-term energy. So for years we said, okay, this is how I'm going to accomplish this. This is what I need. Well, the last couple months we've been really having to go inwards, and this Mars retrograde transit in general, but especially in Scorpio, has forced all of us to not go full speed ahead like we were with Mars and Sagittarius, like we were in March and that first part of April, and to sit back a little bit and be receptive. That's one of the great things about this transit of Mars and Scorpio, especially retrograde, is we're turning inwards and we're asking ourselves, we're not even so much asking with our mind, we're feeling, what do I need? What am I missing? How do I empower myself better? What am I doing that is self-destructive? I have all these plans and goals I set for myself, but why does it seem like I'm not reaching them? Why does it seem like everybody in the world right now is experiencing difficulty? Why are awful things like Orlando occurring? This is a time of reorienting ourselves, of learning from the past, learning from our mistakes and those of others as well, learning how to have love and empower ourselves with love and peace, especially in the face of anger and violence. This isn't easy. It's not easy. But that's how we win, you know? That's how we experience life like we're supposed to, like having our eternal child be present every day, and to recognize that it's no matter how much we learn and understand and come to master in life, we are all in this mystery together. And we're all in our own individual mystery amidst this collective mystery. And that mystery is a beautiful thing. To be conscious in and of itself is a beautiful thing. It's insane. I mean, me making this video right now, you watching it, it's just not even just the technological modern aspect of it, but just to be human, to exist. It's mind-boggling, to say the least. Nobody can ever fully grasp it. And that's one of the beauties, is because if we did, life would cease to be a mystery. It would lose some of its magic. Like we wouldn't. There would be no surprises, and that's part of what being human is all about. Now, don't get me wrong. We need to unveil our inner mystery to ourselves. We need to come to understand, who are we? Who am I as a person? What do I care about? What am I passionate about? How do I express that in the world? And even if I'm fearful for expressing that which I am, my essence, how do I do it anyways, and in a way that's peaceful and that is authentic and thus inspiring for others? But again, the most important thing is asking yourself, how do I inspire myself? How do I empower myself? So this is what we're going through right now. It's not easy. Everybody has an opinion. that Saturn opposite, all that Gemini energy is just, I know the way. You know, some people at least are saying, I know the way. I don't need to ask questions. I have all the answers. And that's when Saturn comes in and says, no, you don't. You're not humble. You're not receptive. And so I urge you, if you've been during this transit trying to control everything, if you say, I know exactly how it's supposed to go, it's this, no other way, and if that way just is not working out, I urge you to introspect and reflect and ask yourself, why is this not working out? Truly, why? And don't go from a pity point of view. Pitying, as Nietzsche said, is robbing somebody of their power to craft their own life, to hold their own lantern in the darkness. Ask yourself, with full recognition of your cosmic power as a being, and in full recognition of the universal power of the human collective, but also just the universe, God, Allah, whatever. How do I change? How do I grow? How do I be the person that I need to be? And do that in love. Don't castigate yourself going, oh, I need to change. Don't feel guilt, don't feel shame. Just accept what is and make the best of it. And be patient. Again, Mars is retrograde until June 29th. It'll be back in that conjunction. Actually, almost exactly 2 months from today, the 19th of June. So in late August, we'll finally be building what we've realized now we need to build. And these next couple months will be our preparation time. And it's so funny because, as I was saying, that move for me, that huge change, I did not foresee whatsoever. I was so sure, even up until literally a couple of days ago, I had to talk through it with two of my really best friends and bandmates. Why do I need to make this move? I don't understand. And I didn't fight, this is important, I didn't fight them. I didn't, of course not physically, of course I'm a pacifist, but emotionally and mentally too, I wasn't lashing out. And it's very important to not lash out during this time because karmically you will experience backlash tenfold. Because this is a time of intensity. And again, everybody has their opinion. So sometimes, oh my gosh, especially with Saturn opposite Mercury, sometimes it's better to just let people say whatever they need to say and to listen and to learn from it. Again, learn from others' mistakes. At the same time, if you feel inspired to help somebody understand something that you've come to understand, go for it. But don't try and change other people. This is really a time of introspection, especially now that Venus is in Cancer. And as Sun moves into Cancer as well. And after that one, Mercury moves into Cancer. This is a time for us to figure out us. There's no need to try and change other people. And that goes for any time, but especially during this time. We have to turn inwards. That is how we're going to understand the outside world, and that's how we're going to know what we can do as one drop in this ocean of humanity to make the hurricane that's going on out there, the tsunami, to calm it down, to make it a nice placid lake, peaceful, serene, with views to the bottom, the depths of our psyche. So don't let people get to you during this time. Driving around, I've seen so many accidents. People who are forgetting to breathe, to have truly deep breath. Who aren't meditating if they need to meditate. Who are in such a rush because they think they have all the answers and they have to do it this one way, that they're ignoring the flow outside and the flow within other people. This is a time to be receptive. Our plans will come to fruition 2 months from now and from then on. And they will succeed. Saturn and Mars conjunct, we are all going to have great discipline, and in Sagittarius, so great inspiration as well. But first, we need to orient ourselves in the right direction. Because otherwise we're going to be building stuff that isn't going to serve us in the long run, and then we'll have to abandon or completely renovate, restore. Let's just get it right the first time, yeah? It makes life so much easier when we sit back, especially in crazy times like these. And to ask ourselves, what do I need to do different? And to be honest with ourselves and to feel it out completely. And if we don't find the answers right away, that's fine. But keep seeking. In fact, that's probably the best. That's a part of life, just to keep seeking no matter what, to embrace that mystery, but especially during this time, to not pretend we have all the answers. Ever. But especially during this time. It's all working out. I know things are crazy. I know there's pressure. I know there's confusion. I know that there's lashing out. But recognize that if somebody's lashing out at you, they're in pain. It's not a natural human thing to try and hurt other people. It's just not. We're meant to be happy children, no matter how old we get. That is our true essence. No matter how intelligent we get, no matter how many skills we master, etc., we are all children. So if somebody's acting like a damn fool, treat it as if, first of all, recognize and have some empathy for that person, that they're in pain and they're confused and they're lost and they don't even have the common sense. They don't have the self-knowledge. to be able to turn inwards and realize something is not right. Something I'm doing, thinking, believing, feeling is off. And I will find a way, but I need to turn inwards. Asking advice of other people during this time can be helpful, but at the end of the day, you have to return to self. That's all any of us ever really have. And during times like these, that becomes starkly apparent. Just do your best. Be honest with yourself. Be empathetic with yourself. Pray for yourself. Meditate. Do what you have to do to get past the inner blockages and to be real. It's not easy, but this is a very valuable opportunity that we're being presented with. One that will not only shape the next 2 years, as Mars takes 2 years to go through the signs, thus continuing onto the next conjunction of Saturn and Mars. But indeed, because of Saturn's long-reaching effect, it taking 30 years to go through all the signs, this is a process that is lifelong, ultimately, and one that will shape the better part of the next 30 years. So don't feel pressure. There's enough pressure out there already. And we're all doing what we're supposed to be doing. We're learning what we're supposed to be learning. But consciously embracing this will make those lessons sink in and empower us to a degree that we've never experienced before. I'm excited for this change in my life, this transformation. And it's going to be difficult, but I recognize how already the universe is working with me to make it happen. So find that for yourself. I'm not special. I'm just another human being, And in that sense, we're all special. We truly are all special. I just have found my contentment and peace during this time because I finally recognize what I'm supposed to do to let my particular specialities come forth. So do the same for you. It's more than possible. It's inevitable, in fact, if you just embrace and appreciate your own consciousness, that of the collective, and if you don't let fear guide you. It's okay to feel fear, but channel it. Make it motivate you to make this transformation. And when you do, it'll be everything that you've ever needed and more. We've all had such fixed ideas. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. And this doesn't have to be a huge transformation. I'm still living my life. I'm going to be doing astrology and music. Languages, current events in the world. But just be open to whatever level of transformation you feel is needed. Because whether big or small, this is a time of truly growing. And those who aren't are going to experience a lot of pain. They'll be lashing out at others. Those will be the ones who are hurting so bad that they try and hurt others. And if somebody attacks you, remember that ultimately nobody can make you feel anything. Coming from a moon in Cancer and a house of Pisces, this is a lesson that took me years to learn, decades. We are all ultimately in control of our feelings. And yes, if somebody is being a child and throwing up on themselves and trying to involve you in their, sick, yes, you have to pay attention to that to a certain extent so you can avoid it and get out of the way. But at the end of the day, if somebody tries to stab you in the back, remember that you are a cloud. You are water. They'll keep trying and it won't be satisfying for them if you just maintain your own center, your own love, your own connection to the universe, your own divine drop in the ocean of humanity. Remember that. Remember who you are. Remember what you are. Your true essence. And eventually that person will not only not feed negativity and fear, and you'll be teaching them something positive. You'll be showing them that it's possible to maintain love even amidst the most fearful and violent of circumstances. And do what you have to do. Of course, again, don't be a martyr. Avoid those kind of negative situations. And if you feel compelled to speak out, do it. But do it out of love. Otherwise, let it go. Eventually, that person will learn. Eventually, that person will tire of trying to stab you. They're like, I don't get it. Why is this not working? It's going right through them. It's not affecting them. Aren't they fearful like me? You don't have to be. Let the fear go. And if it's hard, well then find out what you're fearful about and change it. Change the circumstances in your life so that that fear isn't owning you anymore. It's not only more than possible during this time, it's inevitable. We're all learning some kind of lesson during this time. And if you embrace it, you'll master it. And everything will flow so much so that I could cry even thinking about how beautiful life is coming together in my own personal, droplet of this ocean. And before, it wasn't like that. It wasn't, I wasn't oriented in the right direction. So, trust. Trust in yourself, trust in the universe, trust in your cosmic siblings here on Earth. Trust in your skills, and develop your skills. Develop your unique contribution that you have for this world. That makes you feel like a kid, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I get to do this. This is amazing. I know it's hard out there, but the change starts from within. And this time is offering us a golden opportunity for that. Infinite love to you, my friend. Namaste.